Hello students, let's read the problem. And it says, the graph shows how the amount of money earned is related to the number of hours worked. What is the rate of change? So, what am I looking for? I'm looking for rate of change. Do you know another word for rate of change? Do you know something else that refers to rate of change, but it doesn't say exactly that? I'm hoping that you guys say the word slope. And I'm going to ask you to, every time that you see the word rate of change, automatically think about a slope. So there's two things we can do. We have talked about a slope and rate of change as rise over run. Is that correct? So I'm going to write it down over here. Rise over run. Okay, so I do have a graph that I can actually use to find how is my rise and how is my run affecting the line. Is that correct? Well, first of all, I'm going to ask you to do some kind of like a little trick over here. I want you guys to circle the highest point of my line. Notice how that is actually pointing to the right. And basically, it means that if it's kind of like pointing to the right, that means my slope needs to be positive. Okay? Very good. So we have the slope identified as being positive already. So now we are going to use 2 points on my graph to find the rise over the run. But before I do that, you need to make sure that you check how is my X and my Y, how are my intervals, right? For example, I can see that X is going by ones from 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But on the Y, I'm not going by ones. I'm going by tens. Is that right? So I got 70, 80, 90, and so on. So when I count going up or down, I'm going to count by tens. So let's start. This is 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Notice how I'm going to stop right there. So I go up 50. Is that right? Okay, let's go to the right. 1, 2, 3, and 4 to the right. So my rise over run is going to be 50 over 4. Okay, so if you simplify 50 over 4, what would you get? Have you checked on the calculator? I'm okay if you want to use the calculator for these basic operations. Okay, so 50 over 4 gives me a 12.5. Very good. Now you got to remember that 50 is going up and down, which means that's the money. That's my Y value. And the 4, I got it when I counted sideways, which is the hours that I worked. So what does that mean then? It means that I'm going to get 12.5 money for the hours. That's what I'm comparing. I'm comparing the money and the hours. And if you were to do the other point, the one lower here on 0 and 50, you can actually do the same thing. And I'm going to ask you to do some kind of identification right now because you're going to need it. Do you notice that there is a point here that is exactly on who? On the Y, right? Okay, so I can tell that that point is 0 and 50. Very good. And I can use the counting for that one. I'm going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, and I still go 50 up. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I do the same. 50 over 4. Okay? Any questions so far? So the rate of change, I can do it by doing the rise over run. And again, that's only going to be possible if you have very good points on the intersection of two lines. But what I want to do next is I actually want to find slope using the formula. So there is an equation, a formula that says y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x of 1. If you haven't memorized the formula, it's okay. This formula, you can find it on your formula, a chart, or your reference materials. I am going to choose 2 points. So one of my points is going to be, I can see the 4. So 1 point is going to be 4, and across is 100. In case that you're having trouble seeing that, there's a 4 and 100. What about the second point? I want to choose this point that is here. So that point is on 8 on x, but on 150 on y. Very good. So what I want to do next is, let's write labels here, right? So I'm going to write down x of 1 and y of 1. First point, x of 2, y of 2. Very good. Okay? So what we're going to do next is we're going to circle some numbers here. I'm going to circle my y values. Okay? And I circle my values because remember, those are the ones that they go on my numerator. So I'm going to take away, or I'm going to subtract 150 minus 100. That's my y values. And my x is going to be 8 minus 4. Okay? Let's subtract 150 minus 100. I get a 50 over 4. Now I want you to see that number here. And I want you to see the number that I got on the rise over run. What do you notice? It's the same, right? Yes, it has to be the same. But I'm not done yet because I want to simplify. So when I simplify, I get 12.5. And again, remember that the numerator has to do with the change of the y. And the bottom is your change of the x's, right? So the y, it's my money. And the x's is the hours. So if I want to have a nice complete answer, it will be the dollars or the money over the hours. Okay, very good. So what's my answer for this one? Letter B. Awesome.